Hold on! If you're a retiree in Germany, I need exactly 90 seconds of your time, because what I'm about to reveal could directly affect your bank account this month. Everyone's talking about this mysterious November payment, but 90% of what you've heard is absolutely wrong. I've spent the last week digging through official documents, talking to pension experts, and separating fact from fiction. And what I discovered will either make you very happy or save you from a huge disappointment. So don't you dare click away, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's landing in your account and what isn't. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here because today we're tackling the hottest topic in retirement circles right now. My inbox has been flooded, my comment section is overflowing, and everywhere I go, people are asking me the same question. What's this November payment I keep hearing about? Your neighbor mentioned it at the supermarket. Your daughter sent you a WhatsApp message asking if it's true. You saw something on Facebook that made it sound like Christmas came early, but here's the problem. Almost nobody is getting the full story right. So let me tell you what's really going on. I'm going to walk you through this step by step, and I promise you, no confusing jargon, no bureaucratic nonsense, just straight facts that you can actually use. Because that's what we do here. We cut through the noise and give you information you can trust. Let's start with the truth bomb that nobody else is telling you. There is no massive, universal, one-time payment that every German retiree is receiving in November 2025. I know, that's not what you wanted to hear. But stay with me, because the real story is actually more interesting and more important for your specific situation than any rumor. Here's what's actually happening and why everyone's so confused. The German pension system is like a massive ship with lots of different parts moving at different speeds. Some things happen in July, some things happen throughout the year, and yes, some things happen in November. But they don't all happen to everyone, and understanding which category you fall into is absolutely crucial. Let me break down the four main scenarios where money might actually hit your account this month, and you need to figure out which one applies to you. Are you ready? Let's go. Scenario number 1. You recently applied for pension adjustments or corrections. Maybe 6 months ago, you discovered that some of your work years weren't properly credited. Maybe you realized that the time you spent caring for your elderly parents should count toward your pension. Maybe you had additional children that weren't registered in the system, so you submitted paperwork, you waited and waited and waited some more because, let's be honest, German bureaucracy isn't exactly known for its lightning speed, but now finally in November, your case gets approved. When that happens, you don't just get the increased pension going forward, you get back payment for all the months since you submitted your application. This can be several €100, sometimes even over 1,000, depending on how much your monthly pension increased and how long the processing took. This is real money. This is hitting real accounts, but it's only happening to people who went through this specific application process. Scenario number 2, calculation errors and corrections. Now, the Deutsche Rentenversicherung doesn't like to admit this, but mistakes happen. Computer systems have glitches. Data gets entered incorrectly. Sometimes your pension has been calculated wrong for months or even years. When they discover these errors, they're legally required to fix them and pay you the difference. These correction payments can come at any time, including November. The amounts vary wildly. Some people get €40, some get 400. It entirely depends on the nature of the error and how long it went undetected. If you receive one of these, you'll get an official letter explaining exactly what went wrong and how they calculated your payment. Scenario number 3. And this is where a lot of the confusion comes from: supplementary pensions and company pensions. If you worked for certain companies or industries, you might have a Betriebsrente, a company pension, on top of your statutory pension. These company pensions often have completely different payment schedules than the government pension. Some pay quarterly bonuses, some have year-end adjustments, some pay out accumulated interest annually. And yes, many of these payments happen in November or December. So if you're receiving something in November, it might not be from the government pension system at all. It might be from your old employer's pension fund. Check your bank statement carefully to see where the money is actually coming from. Scenario number 4, housing benefit and social assistance adjustments. If you receive Wohngeld or other forms of social assistance alongside your pension, those benefits get recalculated periodically based on changes in rent costs and living expenses. When these recalculations happen, any increases are often paid retroactively. So if your housing benefit was reassessed and increased, you might receive several months of back payments in one lump sum. This looks like a big one-time payment, but it's actually just catching up on an ongoing benefit that should have been higher all along. Now, let's talk about the numbers everyone really wants to know. What are people actually receiving? I need to be completely honest with you here because I've seen some absolutely ridiculous claims floating around online. People talking about €5,000 payments, €10,000 windfalls. That's fantasy. That's not reality. For most people in scenario 1, back payments from approved pension increases. We're talking about somewhere between €200 and €800 on average. That's if your monthly pension increased by €50 to €100, and your application took 4 to 8 months to process. Could it be more? Sure, if your case was exceptionally complex, or the increase was particularly substantial, but expecting thousands is setting yourself up for disappointment. For calculation error corrections, the typical range is even smaller, usually between €50 and €300. Remember, these are corrections to mistakes, not major additions to your pension. The errors are usually relatively minor, which is why they went unnoticed in the first place. Company pension bonuses and adjustments vary so dramatically that I can't even give you a typical range. I've seen everything from €30 to over 1,000, depending on the company, the pension plan, and how long you worked there. You need to check your specific pension plan documents to understand what you're entitled to. And here's something absolutely critical that nobody else is talking about: the tax implications. Any money you receive as a lump sum is still income, and it's still taxable. If you receive a significant back payment, it could bump you into a higher tax bracket for this year. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be happy about receiving the money, but it does mean you might owe additional taxes when you file your return next year. Set aside about 15 to 20% of any large lump sum payment just to be safe. Talk to a tax advisor if you're unsure. So what should you actually do right now? First, check your mailbox. I'm talking about your actual physical mailbox, not email. The Deutsche Rentenversicherung still communicates primarily through traditional mail. If you're receiving any kind of adjustment or one-time payment, there will be an official letter explaining it. This letter will have specific details about the amount, the reason for the payment, and the calculation. Read it carefully. If you don't understand something, their hotline number is right there on the letter. Second, check your bank statements. Look at any deposits you've received recently and see where they're coming from. Is it from the Deutsche Rentenversicherung? Is it from a former employer's pension fund? Is it from your local social services office? Knowing the source helps you understand what the payment is for. Third, and this is so important, do not make major financial decisions based on rumors or speculation. I've heard heartbreaking stories of people who went out and spent money they thought was coming, only to realize the payment was never going to arrive. Don't book that vacation. Don't buy that new appliance. Don't lend money to family members based on expected payments that aren't confirmed. Fourth, if you think you might be entitled to additional pension benefits, be proactive. Don't wait for the system to find you. Make an appointment with your local Deutsche Rentenversicherung office. Bring your work history, any documentation about care periods, any records of additional employment. Let them review your pension account thoroughly. You might discover you're entitled to more than you're currently receiving, but you'll never know unless you ask. Now let me address the elephant in the room: scams. Whenever there's confusion about money, criminals come crawling out of the woodwork. I've already heard reports of people receiving phone calls from supposed pension officials offering to help them claim their November payment for a small processing fee. This is fraud. The Deutsche Rentenversicherung will never call you asking for money or personal financial information. If someone contacts you claiming to be from the pension office and asks for payment or bank details, hang up immediately and report it. Looking forward, what can you realistically expect in the coming months? The next regular pension adjustment happens in July 2026. That will be a percentage increase applied to everyone's pension based on wage developments in 2025. Early estimates suggest it will be somewhere between 2 and 3%, but those numbers could change based on economic conditions. That's your next guaranteed increase, and it's a permanent boost to your monthly payment, not a one-time thing. Here's my final message to you, and I really want you to hear this. Your pension is your money. You earned it through decades of work. You have every right to understand exactly what you're receiving and why. Don't let confusion, rumors, or fear prevent you from getting the information you need. Ask questions. Demand clear answers. Use the resources available to you. The system can be frustrating and slow, but it does work when you engage with it properly. All right, my friends, that's the complete truth about November 2025 pension payments. No hype, no rumors, just facts. If this video helped clear things up, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss future updates. Drop a comment telling me your experience. Are you receiving anything this month? Let's help each other out with real information. Share this video with other retirees who need to hear the truth. And remember, when it comes to your money, always verify, never assume. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Music fades.